Hello comrades, best wishes for your summer event. It's taking place, of course, at a time of growing international crises, multiple crises, environmental breakdown, wars, the threat of further wars, social and economic dislocation in one country after another. And an aspect of those crises has been the growth of the radical right, the far right, and within that, the fascist right dedicated to violent destruction of all democracy and especially of the working class movement. The first thing I'd like to say is that we in no way can we be indifferent to the rise of these forces. Some people say, but capitalism itself is violent. Capitalism itself necessitates racism, so what's so very different about the development of these forces? If I may give one example from Britain, at the recent general election, where although the Labour Party won with a huge majority, there was lots of discontent and disillusionment, the radical right also won. It got 5 MPs into the parliament. And that in turn has encouraged the fascistic right, the right that takes to the streets and attacks ethnic minorities, LGBT people, socialists, Democrats and so on. And so we're seeing a very dangerous crisis in Britain right now. So we cannot be indifferent to the advance of the radical right, that's the first thing. But the second thing is that as they advance, we face another pressure, and that comes from the politics and parties of the centre. We see this in France, where the French government, Macron, is attempting to corral the left, to crush the left, all in the false name of a common bourgeois, capitalist, electoral or rather governing front against the far right. Now here we have to say it is precisely because of the failure of the centre, the failure of Macron, Macron's introduction further of racism into the French system, the advance of authoritarianism under his presidency that the far right gained. And therefore, in order to develop the mass movement against the far right, we have to have a guard against the pressure to fall in behind the centre. This is why, in my opinion, to have an effective anti-fascism, we need a strong, independent, anti-capitalist left, which will take up all the questions, but strategically take up the ones in the order of priority of what we have to do at any stage. Good luck on this.